Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Tonight, I want to talk about the group White Lion. So, first, I want to give a shout out to Bill Robertson. He left a comment on my favorite bands video, telling me to check out White Lion and especially the album Big Game, and was interested to know what I think. Well, I checked that album out, and I gotta tell you, it was pretty awesome. So, my I don't have really a whole lot of background with White Lion. I mean, I know some of their bigger hits, Wait, When the Children Cry, Tell Me, and the other song of theirs that I was familiar with was Hungry, the first track off of their album Pride. In my opinion, of at least three of those songs were pretty much the same. Good songs, but they never really drew me in or hooked me onto White Lion. They just became a band that I would hear on the radio from time to time. I would just kind of like the song as it came on, but really would kind of, you know, pass right out of my mind by the time the next song or two came on. And sometimes you wonder, like, why it takes you so long to really discover a band or to get into a band. But then again, if I got into everybody I was ever going to like when I was younger, what would the fun be in discovering, there'd be no fun in discovering bands when I'm 32 years old. So I went and gave White Lion a try on Bill's recommendation, and I gotta say, Bill, you might be turning me into a White Lion fan because I've enjoyed binge listening to White Lion these last couple of days. So the first album that I checked out was Big Game. Um, I don't know that I recognize any song from that album, but I really liked it. Starting off, we have Going Home Tonight, the first track, really catchy. It instantly grabbed my attention. I love the guitar work in it. I really love the verses, and the guitar solo was really cool. I mean, it really pulled me in and got me interested. Then we moved to Dirty Woman, cool riff. The song really kind of hits hard right off the get go. After Going Home Tonight was kind of a more melodic type of an opener, so that was nice. And this is the first song that I noticed. Like this whole album has a very strong Van Hagar vibe. There's a number of tracks on this album that really feel like they could have been long lost Van Hagar tracks, and I mean that as a compliment because I love Van Halen, obviously. Um, and I'm no hater of the Hagar era, but really dig the Vito Bratta. What a great guitar player. I mean, I looked him up on Wikipedia, and the very first thing it said was he was influenced by Eddie Van Halen. It's like, yeah, of course he was. He plays a lot like him, and I mean that in a good way. EVH is my favorite guitar player of all time, and Vito Bratta is incredible. He certainly does. He certainly does Eddie justice. Little Fighter, I thought was a really cool song too. I mean, that might be my favorite song on the album. I guess it was a single. I had never heard it before, but it's a really cool track. More great guitar work from Vito. Great lyrics from Mike Tramp. Really loved it. Um, the next track, Broken Home, reminded me a lot of When the Children Cry, almost like it was the sequel song to it. It was all right. Like I said, When Children Don't Cry, it's a song I enjoy it when it comes on the radio, but it was never a song I felt the need to go and look up or go get or go check out White Lion because of. And I kind of feel the same way about Broken Home. I didn't dislike it. I appreciated the song, but it wasn't my favorite on the album. Baby Me Mine, another catchy, almost sort of Eddie Van Halen style, mellower type of a riff. Really cool. Living on the Edge. I mean, the thing that really surprised me is just how great the guitar work is. I mean, Vito Bratta is awesome. I mean, and I have gone and not only listened to Big Game, but I've also listened to Pride, and I've listened to their first album, Fight for Survival. And I mean, Vito's work on Pride was really good, but it didn't grab me like it did on Big Game. I mean, man, and Pride is a good album. I'll talk about that next. Let's Get Crazy was, I have written down here on my notes, what an insane riff. I mean, that is such a Eddie Van Halen style riff. That could have been almost Roth era Van Halen. I mean, just incredible riff. Like before the lyrics came in, I could just picture Diamond Dave coming in and doing his thing. But Mike Tramp, he makes a pretty good song out of that too. Um, Great song, one of my favorites on the album for sure. Don't Say It's Over, I thought was really catchy. Kind of reminded me a lot of Wait. I don't know if it was a single. I didn't really study too hard what all the singles were on this album, but if it wasn't, I think it should have been because it's a real catchy song. If My Mind Is Evil, another cool track, really heavy, cool riff. I mean, every single song on this album just about made me wonder why I haven't explored this band sooner. If not just for Vito Bratta. I mean, the guy's great. And I don't mean to sell Mike Tramp and the other guy short. This is White Lion's a good band, but man, Vito Bratta really kind of stole the show for me. Radar Love. When I saw that in the track listing, my first thought was, I wonder if that's going to be the Golden Earring cover, or if that's going to be just another track called Radar Love. And it's a cover. I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't be. I don't know why. I mean, I like Radar Love, but when it came on, wow. I mean, what a great cover. Great cover. Really has a lot of energy to it. Really rocks. I think Mike Tramp sings the heck out of it. Awesome. And then the album closer, Cry for Freedom, has a really great kind of album closer kind of a feel to it. And it's a great song. I mean, just it really caps the album off very, very well. I thoroughly enjoyed Big Game. So thank you, Bill, for the recommendation. Big Game, awesome album. I didn't just listen to it once, man. After I listened to it the first time, I went back and listened to it again a second time all the way through. And then I went back to songs like Dirty Woman, Little Fighter, Let's Get Crazy, Going Home Tonight, and listen to them, kind of cherry picking them. Good stuff, man. So I then did go and start binge listening to some of their other albums. Obviously, the next logical step was Pride, which is their big album, and it's the album that I had known some of their songs of. So my opinion of Hungry, Wait, and When the Children Cry are relatively still the same. I think they're all good songs, none of which I think really would have ever drawn me into White Lion the way that Going Home Tonight did. But still good songs. And in listening to them on the album and sort of getting into White Lion, I probably am starting to maybe enjoy them a little more than I have in the past. But what really struck me with Pride was the third track. I think it's called Don't Get Up, or Don't Give Up. That was awesome. I mean, Hungry was pretty cool. Lonely Nights is pretty cool, but that was the first track on Pride that really grabbed me. I also liked a couple tracks toward the end of the album a lot too. All You Need Is Rock and Roll, Tell Me, which I had heard Tell Me before. I don't know that I knew that it was White Lion. If I did know that at one point in time, I forgot. But it's a really catchy song. I really do like that song. What's the penultimate track? All Join In, I think, is called. Another good song. Pride's a pretty darn solid album too. And I listened to their debut album, Fight for Survival, just one time today, and I really enjoyed it. Like, Cherokee was cool. I kind of forget some of the other tracks, but it was good. There wasn't anything on it that I didn't like. So, Bill, you might be turning me into a White Lion fan. I don't think this is going to be the end of me listening to White Lion by any means. And if I happen to see any of their albums in my travels, I will definitely be picking them up because I've really been enjoying listening to them, Mike Bill. So thank you very much for. I don't know where Mike came from, man. I'm sorry. Other than the fact that it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm getting tired. So, but I wanted to get this video done for you. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about White Lion? What are your favorite albums? What are your favorite songs? And let me know. And I'll probably do a video in the future. Maybe if I start picking up some of their albums on vinyl or CD or whatever, maybe I'll do an album ranking one of these days. But White Lion, good band. I'm starting to get into them, man. Catch you next time.